Hello there, welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. Today is the 335th day of the year, marking the beginning of the last month of the year 2025. Today is 1st December. Happy New Month to all of you and welcome to the program. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. You can also join us live on Facebook and of course on DSTV channel 277, and we're live on 94.1 FM. Also, welcome to the program, and my name is Desmond Okrekudan. So, well, coming up on the show today, we've got very, very important conversations coming up. I am sure that you must have heard the release of the provisional results from the WASSCE 2025. A lot of public commentary, a lot of stakeholders have been sharing their thoughts about what they think about the results that has seen decline in students passing, and rather the when it comes to the F9, it has increased. Especially, I've been surprised about social studies though, but that's what it is, and we'll be engaging the PRO for the WAEC, that is John Cap. He's been speaking to us. We'll share that with you, and also we'll get to some other stakeholders about what they think about what has happened with the provisional results from the WASSCE 2025. And again, we will get to talk about Zipline. You know, there's been conversations on the floor of Parliament that there should be a cancellation of Zipline. What really are the matters at hand? We'll be talking to Dr. Ayu Efriye, who is a ranking member on the Health Committee in Parliament. We'll talk to him and some others on the show. And of course, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has been doing the rounds along the campaign tour, and a number of, important persons in various constituencies across the country have been rooting for him. We'll be speaking to Dr. Ekuya Amuako on that also. So it's going to be a full one right here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Just make sure that you're staying with us for the show. For now, Dominic and Surprise standing by, bringing us the news updates. And so let's get into it. Dominic, good afternoon. Happy New Month.
Oh, that's one. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day.
Definitely. I don't know to say all too soon. We're going to the end of 2025. It's come so fast.
Right.
Let's take us away.
Right. Let's take the news updates. Well, salutation. Headlines is up next. And our President John Dramani Mahama receives 10 petitions to remove Special Prosecutor Kisié Jabane, EC Chair Jane Mensah, and 2 deputies. And our troubling data from the West African Examination Council indicates a massive decline in pass rates, as 1 in every 4 students failed core mathematics. And now later, coming on Business Edge, we'll be looking at calls to cancel the Zipline contract and the upcoming NPP presidential primaries. This and many other more coming your way shortly. Do stay. We'll be right back. And I will take the news in details to First Story. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman says government is transforming the country into an export-driven economy. According to her, the 2024 economic policy stands a chance to change the economic fortunes of the country. She was speaking at the 14th edition of the Association of Ghana Industries and Quality Awards in Accra. This year's edition themed Assessing New Markets Through Improved Quality Standards to Drive Business Growth and Job Creation brought together captains of industry, policymakers, and development partners in a renewed push to highlight the role of quality in driving industrial transformation. Addressing the gathering, outgoing president of AGI, Dr. Humphrey Kwesi Enyim, welcomed the digitization import declaration forms by government.
As captured by the Minister of Finance, that over 31 billion Ghana cedis that was transferred via import declaration taxes that were not backed by goods are concerns for industry. Colleagues, we must awake to the times and aid government perfect all these anomalies. And therefore we welcome the full digitization of the IDF system as the government seeks to roll out through an AI system in the month of March to perfect and harmonize and clear all these scrupulous transactions that support the transfer of dollars out of our country and makes our economy weaker.
The Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejare, reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to supporting the business environment to drive the needed growth.
I am proud to have played an instrumental role in ensuring that our regulatory framework now requires export earning to be repatriated through authorized bank within 120 days of shipment, with a careful managed extension option. This clarity brings predictability, restores confidence in our foreign exchange repatriation system that helps overall stability of our city.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, in her address, mentioned that policies and programs put in place by government, such as the Accelerated Export Development Advisory Committee, is transforming Ghana into an export-driven economy.
Under the program, we are prioritizing value addition and diversification. We are pushing for transformation in key value chains: cassava, tomato, palm oil, textiles, and pharmaceuticals, to produce finished goods that we know can compete on the global stage. To support this, the government is investing in our logistics, modernizing ports, expanding transport infrastructure, and operationalizing inland ports like Buankra. As you know, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government cannot industrialize alone. You are our partners.
Award categories included major awards, sector-specific awards, regional awards, an inclusive business category, and a number of honorary recognitions. Softcare was adjudged overall Best Industrial Company Limited for the year under review. Science and Technology Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has welcomed renewed government commitment to the completion of the KNUST Teaching Hospital following the release of 46 million Ghana cedis and $38 billion through Get Fund for equipping the facility. The commended the Vice President for her role in securing government attention for the teaching hospital. There is more in this report.
Addressing the climax of the university's 59th congregation in Kumasi, Otumfuo appealed to government to grant immediate financial clearance to recruit additional academic and administrative staff, warning that the current lecturer-student ratio poses a long-term threat to academic quality. Otumfuo also issued a strong warning to individuals encroaching on university lands, stating that the institution will not tolerate attempts to seize or repurpose its property.
Through you to the President, and then having sent your Honorable Minister for Education during the grand debut of the 50th anniversary celebration of our School of Medical Sciences, promised the government of Ghana's commitment to completing our teaching hospital project. In fact, the Minister, on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic, announced the release of 46 million Ghana cedis for the completion of the teaching hospital, an additional $38 million United States dollars to equip the teaching hospital as part of the 2025-26 formula of Get Fund. You know, the reason why I said I'm well pleased in her is that it was through her that we sent the message, and she carried the message, and the monies are being delivered.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, in her address, praised KNUST for sustaining academic excellence while deepening transformational and research that addresses national development priorities. She cited students and faculty work contributing to solutions in areas such as health, innovation, agricultural sustainability, and industrial policy.
The Ghanaian public, and indeed the African continent, needs thought leadership grounded in resourcefulness, data, ethics, and public value. Whether you remain in academia, join public service, launch a business, or advise international bodies, your ability to think clearly and act responsibly will be tested. Do not forget that your families, communities, and nation have not invested in your education for your benefit alone. Remember them and maintain your academic humility.
The final day of the 59th congregation saw 221 PhD degrees conferred, 66 females and 155 males, alongside honorary doctorates awarded to distinguished personalities such as Hackman Owusu Ajiman, Dr. Ben Asante, Professor Victoria Pearl Jogbefia, among others, and corporate bodies.
And now the Member of Parliament for Kuapem North, Sami Ewuku, has described the NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as an authentic political figure who does not alter his character in pursuit of power. According to him, the former vice president maintains a naturally friendly and consistent disposition, unlike others who only appear warm when seeking political positions. Sami Ewuku made the remarks when Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia visited the Kuapem North constituency on Friday as part of his tour of the Eastern region. Let's take a listen.
Papai Menenasampi is a man of his word. Dr. Bawumia doesn't fake. Obu ho copy poster. Na fe hu nipa na resrew. Nto resrew cry maye. Cause enye natural. But this man, what you see is what you get. Openipa, edonipa, ekanipa, ebum. Ene nyame moano. Na sena yeye ma John Ajekum Kufuor. Yeah, the same thing so edema yendeshi nanado danko Kufuor. Moi, you are Dr. Bawumia. Now yen demonstrate say the charcoal seller's son can also wear a white shirt. Now Dr. Bawumia wear the running mate 2 times. Wear the vice president 2 times. Onumpo nkwafoso or a stranger there. Now police station executive undi DC. No aboye edia ditumi 2 times. Was a stranger there. And then I also Bami Sumano. Yame Mwamo. Na on Kayen. Na and they are by a better January 31st. May this covenant keeping God keep his covenant with us. Na yamwa Dr. Bawumia.
Still staying in politics, Member of Parliament for New Javin South, Michael Autry Befi, has highlighted the dedication and committed service of former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to the New Patriotic Party over the years. Addressing delegates in his constituency in Koforidua during Dr. Bawumia's campaign tour, the legislator said when the party faced serious challenges and required courageous individuals to defend it, Dr. Bawumia stepped up with other head under their tables.
Me say politics now yako election I bet to the 31st December no grosso 31st January we need an experienced person here obia ono wakobida mini anomaka obia yaso na hwepen Ghana vo nyina nim no emre mu ya din wo Ghana ha MPP impanifo da ne ma ko shetebu ase ono sore ye waka Echo Supreme Court 2012. Okay, 2012 you two about here. MPP lose your CNTS. MPP penning for another number. Go share table I say. Safuano and ne almost almost party for that about me and Kahon. I'm therefore near or no what the party then the Supreme Court. And now you reform the bre about elections more Ghana. Ama and ne Ghana Batuo and Wate, Sandy Park, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, or no, and I may come from amount. 31st January, New Javin South Fonina, every MP, any chairman, any Opia, Yanina Yakotuabano, one logo la.
And now the minorities demanding an immediate reversal of the royalty rate in a lithium agreement between the government and Barirari DV Ghana Limited from the current 5% back to the previously agreed 10% approved during the 8th Parliament under the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Let's take a listen. Addressing the press, the Member of Parliament for Mampong and ranking member on the Committee of Lands and Natural Resources, Kweku Amprechum Sapon, criticized the majority side of what he described as double standards and hypocrisy. He argued that the NDC, when in opposition, strongly resisted the 10% royalty negotiated by the former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jinapor, yet has reduced the rate to 5% after assuming office. According to him, the reversal not only undermines the national interest, but also contradicts the NDC's own earlier stance on securing higher returns for Ghana's mineral resources. He maintained that the 10% royalty remains the fair and acceptable benchmark and argued the government to immediately restore it.
The Minority Caucus on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament expresses its deepest disappointment with regards to the government's approach toward the renegotiated mining lease between the government of Ghana and Berari DV Ghana Limited. The caucus is particularly dismayed by attempts by the government and the majority caucus in Parliament to justify the reduction of the 10% royalty rate to a paltry 5%, leaving the Ghanaian people worse off in the exploitation of this strategic mineral. It will be recalled that in October 2023, the government of President Akufo-Addo signed a mining lease agreement with the same company for the exploitation of the same mineral, but with enhanced terms, including 1. A royalty rate of 10% above the normal 5%. 2. Free carried interest of 13% above the statutory 10%, with additional Ghanaian participation of at least 30% through the Minerals Income Investment Fund and listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange. 3. A community development fund of 1% of the revenue for the development of the local community. 4. A growth and sustainability levy of 1% of the revenue. And 5th, the establishment of a chemical plant to promote value addition. The NDC opposed these terms, and in a press release dated 13 December 2023, described the 10% royalty rate as a celebration of mediocrity. That was how the NDC termed the way we managed to couch the agreement. That what we had done, or what we had in the agreement, was a celebration of mediocrity. The NDC took the view that the prevailing law on royalties, that is the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2015, that is Act 900, made royalty rate open-ended and subject to negotiations.
And now the managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery, Edmond Combat, is applauding the unwavering dedication and technical brilliance of Ghanaian engineers as 12 inches closer to a full comeback. Speaking at the induction ceremony of newly elected executives of the Institute of Engineering and Technology Ghana, Combat revealed a major breakthrough of TOR is expected to be fully operational by the end of the year.
The event, which ushered in the new leadership of IET Ghana, also highlighted the critical role of engineering in national development, with calls for continuous innovation and adherence to professional standards. The managing director of Tema Oil Refinery, Edmond Combat, described the engineers as the backbone of the refinery's transformation, stressing that their commitment has been central to the ongoing revamp. Mr. Combat further noted that a fully functional refinery will not only boost local capacity but also unlock significant economic gains within the downstream petroleum sector, reducing reliance on imported refined products and strengthening energy security.
They did all the work, 100%. They did all the work. They were just waiting for leadership. And what we did was to provide that leadership. We're going to transform the country's downstream heavily because we are able to do between 45 to 55,000 barrels per stream day. And roughly that would be about 45 to 60% of the country's needs. So it means that you are not going to rely on a lot of importation of finished petroleum product. And full operation is actually, we've done a couple of tests, but in the coming weeks, just monitor. You will see it all over the place. We'll do an official notice to the public on the exact date that you will see the flare up.
On his part, the newly sworn-in president of IET Ghana, Engineer Wanda Davos Salami, urged the government to develop maintenance mechanisms to enhance its big push agenda.
In fact, no matter how good the road is, no matter how perfect it is constructed, if we don't have maintenance plan to maintain it, at a point in time, it will go bad. So I appeal to government that whilst we are pushing up this project, let us also make arrangement for maintenance, so that whenever there is a need, we can put in money, we can take this money to maintain these roads.
As TOR prepares to fire back to life, expectations are high that the refinery's revival will mark a turning point in Ghana's petroleum industry.
And our President John Dramani Mahama has received 10 petitions for the removal of 2 heads of public institutions and 2 deputies appointed under Article 70 of the Constitution. The institutions are the Electoral Commission and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. There is more with this following report. 7 petitions were filed against the chairperson of the EC, Jane Mensah, and her 2 deputies, Dr. Bosman Eric Asari, who is in charge of corporate, and Samuel Tete, in charge of operations. 3 other petitions are against the removal of SP Kisi Edrabeng. According to media reports, the various petitions have been forwarded to the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafo-Boni. Article 70, Clause 2 of the Constitution states that the President shall, acting on the device of the Council of State, appoint the chairman, deputy chairman, and other members of the Electoral Commission. The chairperson of the EC and the deputies have the same conditions of service as those of justices of the superior courts, the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court, and so are their removal processes. While the chairperson of the EC has the same terms and conditions of service as a justice of the Court of Appeal, the 2 deputy chairmen of the Commission have the same terms and conditions of service as are applicable to the justice of the High Court. According to Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution, a justice of the Superior Court or chairman of the Regional Tribunal shall not be removed from the office except for stated misbehavior or incompetence or on the ground of inability to perform the functions of his office arising from infirmity of body or mind. Where a prima facie case is determined, the CJ shall, within 14 days, set up a committee similar to that of the removal of any of the heads of constitutional bodies appointed by the President. The committee is duty-bound to investigate the matter within 90 days and make its recommendation to the President through the Chief Justice. The President then has no choice but enjoined to act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee. And our groundbreaking dialogue on masculinity and emotional well-being of men has been held here in Accra with a call for society to give a listening ear to the plight of men. The program was under the theme Real Men, Real Emotions. Speakers P.Y. Ado Boateng and Kobiche spoke to Metro News after the program.
Okay, all right, so I mean, we're doing this because as men, we're not talking enough about our real life situations, our emotions. We carry all the responsibilities. Or as a boy growing up, you are told that you're supposed to be a man, you're supposed to man up, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to do certain things. Society, but who is the society that has been saying this all along? This is the reason why we're trying to create platforms like this to have this event together with Brain Fitness Africa community to be able to have this event, you know, so we can have conversations amongst ourselves as men. So I'm very happy and excited to be here as a moderator. I've always been an advocate for men's wellness as a holistic, whether it be fitness, whether it be mental, or whether it be health. I think as a man, you should know yourself first, and then so that you can also help your people, your surrounding, your community, and your family.
Thank you. Anything you want to add? Okay.
Good?
Yes. Thank you very much.
I think that collectively what we have to do as a country, as society, as parents, we need to start to pay attention to the boy child. I'm saying pay attention to the boy child because there are a lot of things happening, and it looks as though we are not intentionally raising boys to become responsible men. And so you see a lot of boys these days committing suicide. They are not able to speak up. You see a lot of boys in prisons, a lot of boys doing drugs, a lot of boys doing all sort of things that is not good for society. And we are all collectively building a society where we want to raise responsible men. I feel that we need to help build a society where men can share their emotions. And I want to use this opportunity to emphasize on the point that we need to break that code or that circle of saying that men don't cry, men have to be strong, and all these words that I feel that over the period or over generations, it has become sort of a demerit to the boy child becoming a man. We've all recently seen videos of men beating women. If you go back in time to check the genesis of these men, you notice that they were not brought up with love. They were not brought up with emotions. How many of our parents are very intentional about raising the boy child? I believe that as a society, we have neglected the boy child.
Accra is set to come alive as Ghana Tourism Authority demonstrates its full preparedness for this year's December NGH celebration. In a vibrant display across the city, GTA has installed telescopic flags and strategically placed billboards highlighting the festivals, ensuring that the excitement is visible to all.
From the airport roundabout to the Lancaster Hotel, along the main road at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and at key locations including the Airport Police Station, La Palm Royal Hotel, La Boma Beach Road, and various parts of Accra, residents and visitors alike can experience the festive spirit in every corner of the city. The extensive rollout not only reflects GTA's commitment to promoting tourism and local culture, but also serves as a prelude to a December filled with music, heritage, and unforgettable experiences. GTA's visibility campaign ensures that December in Ghana will be celebrated in grand style, putting Accra and Ghana at the heart of the global festive spotlight.
Well, that's it for the news update on Good Afternoon Ghana. We meet Dominic Nana Kwame Nansapra. Over to Desi for the rest of the program.
Right. Thank you very much, Dominic, for bringing us the news updates. As we have entered December, definitely it is December in GH, and we'll see. I don't know where you'd be going to. Have any event you have in mind? Okay.
We'll do church.
Right. But let me tell you that on the 20th of December, it's the Metro Jollof Festival. So add that to your calendar for December in GH. We're taking a break. When we come back, we delve into the stories I mentioned earlier. We're talking about the Zipline contract. We'll be speaking to the ranking member of the Health Committee in Parliament, Dr. Nana Ayew. A free year later, we'll talk about the NPP, Dr. Bawumia's campaign tour across the country. We'll be speaking to Dr. Ekuya Amoako. And then later, also, we'll be talking about the WAEC results. We've spoken to John Cappy. We'll tell you what he's got to say about this. And right, GMET, the Ghana Meteorological Agency, what exactly are they doing? That's the question a lot of people have been asking. Well, you get to know in a bit. So stay with us. This is Good Afternoon Ghana.
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Obeying later.
Of course. Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go fit it
the luckiest. Kofi from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
God, Kwamio!
Send your God the apple boom. If you're poor, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey.
Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, a simple deletion. Mr. Goodluck no chemi way.
Eh?
Yeah, man.
Oh, easy kwa. Or dial *712#.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial *712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, I'll find me permanent. Before December, maybe release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
This Christmas, Cartus Agri Limited is bringing you freshness, flavor, and festive joy straight to your home and office. Right here in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takrade. Cartus Agri, your #1 poultry plug. Fresh birds, sweet eggs, delivered with love. Get ready for our juicy Midofopa package. You get 1 broiler, 1 layer, 2 crates of eggs, plus our special chicken spices. All for only 450 Ghana cedis. Midofopa, sweet value for you. Or go big with our Coco Bolobo package. That is 2 broilers, 2 layers, 2 crates of eggs, and chicken spices. Just for 800 Ghana cedis. A Coco Bolobo. More chicken, more joy. And for families and corporate bodies ready to feast, try our Odon Sada package. 3 broilers, 3 layers, 3 crates of eggs, plus spices for only 1,200 Ghana cedis. Order now, enjoy more. And the best part is, corporate orders come with free delivery. Terms and conditions apply. Call us now. 0558 376127 or 0241 674268 or 020-331-5557. This Christmas, choose Cartus Agri Limited. Cartus Agri Limited. Freshness you can trust.
Watching DSTV means getting the TV you love, but staying connected means getting something extra. Stunning. Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim. I love it. Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
Dear Santa, all I want this holiday
is special family time.
Whenever you come around family, you can find love.
To go on an adventure.
Tickets to every game.
Some giggles.
And a puppy.
Let's go!
Yippee!
This holiday, simply stay connected and get all you want on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Welcome back from the break. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. I am Desmond Okrekudas. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also on DSTV channel 277 on 94.1 FM on the radio. Well, a lot of things to talk about, but we're going to be beginning with the campaign of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He's been on a campaign trail all through started in October nationwide tour for his presidential ambition for the that is the NPP, and he's been in the eastern region in the past few days, and he was in the Kapim North and South. He was in Okere, where he received massive endorsements there. And over the weekend, he was at New Job in South, where some great endorsements came in for him. About 30 out of 34 electoral area coordinators said that they're endorsing him, and that is, what we want to interrogate and get to understand this afternoon as we speak to Dr. Ekuya Mwak, who is deputy spokesperson for the Dr. Bawumia campaign team, and so we'll definitely get to speak to her in a bit. So as you can see in your shot, Dr. Bawumia, just waving all the delegates and the constituents in that particular area in the eastern region. Let's speak to Dr. Ekuya Mwak now. Dr. Mwak, good evening, or good afternoon rather. Welcome to the program.
Yes, man. Thank you. Good afternoon to all your wonderful
Hello,
viewers.
Dr. Ekuya Mwak.
Yes, dear. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Great. It's better now. I can hear you. Good afternoon. Welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Good afternoon.
Great. How's it going? I know definitely massive reception for Dr. Bawumia on the campaigns, and especially in the eastern region, which is the latest area. How's the team been doing?
Honestly, the reception has just been overwhelming. It has exceeded expectations in every front, because from every constituency we've been to, there has been an overwhelming endorsement of the candidacy of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And if you are quite familiar with the politics of the MPP, there's a new entrant into the competition who is from the eastern region. So I think most people were expecting a little bit of shaky grounds in the eastern region, but as we finally arrived here, it has become clear that the eastern region is willing to do for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia exactly what they did for His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and stand firmly behind him so that we can finally win the seats of government to be able to bring the progress that we plan for the people of Ghana. Right.
One would say that these endorsements really do not necessarily mean anything. So far as it comes there, they're definitely going to be out there saying that they're endorsing him. What do you make of that? Is this real love, real support that you believe that is going for Dr. Bawumia?
Well, yeah, I think to be able to understand this properly, you have to try to understand the dynamics of an internal party election just a little bit. You see, firstly, what is important to note is that we are the third, if we are talking seriously about this campaign, I think there are three people who people have their eyes on. So the other two aspirants have already been through this region. So we are the last campaign coming to this region. Right. And so the first two came. If they had this volume of endorsements, we would have seen it. The second thing to note is the way the party is organized. So for every constituency, you have an MP, you have a chairman, you have constituency executives. And under that structure, you have electoral area coordinators. And those are really the commanders on the ground. So they also have a number of polling stations directly under them. So it is fair to assume that each electoral area coordinator would be able to have some sort of control or influence over at least, and even to be modest, about 60 to 70% of the polling station agents that work directly under that electoral area coordinator. So for me, getting endorsements directly from the electoral area coordinators is almost as good as getting endorsements from the polling station agents. It is more powerful than sometimes even the MPs, because sometimes you can have the MP and then the opponents will say that, well, the people Form 4 are not really for you. But if you are able to get 30 out of 34, almost everywhere we go, that's the dynamics of the electoral area coordinators. It sends a very strong and powerful signal. And these are not endorsements where they just come and put on a show. They come up and speak to their fellow polling station executives that this is where they are standing, and so they entreat them to follow them. They don't mind being videoed. They come up with their statements and sign with their name, because they claim they've seen how some of the other camps try to twist some of these these endorsements. So they are trying to be emphatic that the tradition of the party must continue, that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the best bet if we are serious about victory in 2028, that he's been punished for a lot of sins that are not his. And these are the words of our delegates, not my words. I'm repeating some of the highlights from some of the things that they said, that he's a very good character, and they believe that he has the temperament to be able to unite the party after the primaries. They believe that his vision for the development of Ghana is unique, and so the party must ensure that Ghana sees a Dr. Bawumia presidency.
Right. From New Jabin, what's the next stop?
So we did New Jabin, that was 2 days ago, actually. So today we just left Lower West Akim, which is Adeso, where also we had some endorsements, not even some endorsements, basically. So in Lower West Akim, which is Adeso, we had the constituency chairman, we had the patrons, we had the council of elders, constituency executives, electoral area coordinators, the former MC and the former MP, who actually, yes, I think that was a little surprising. They also all came to encourage us and tell us that now, even though in 2023 the numbers there were not good, but this time they are willing and able to fully support us. Okay. So we moved from Lower West Akim, we are at Yenswano presently, and after Yenswano we move on to Suhum to do Nsawam Adowejiri. We will wrap up with our Eastern Regional Tour tomorrow and then head up north.
Right. Thank you very much for your time here speaking to us on Good Afternoon Ghana. Dr. Ikuya Mwakon is Deputy Spokesperson for the Dr. Bawumia campaign team, mentioning that the endorsements are very important to the campaign team, as those are coming from the area coordinators, the people on the ground, the people who see what is happening, and so it is important for them. She mentions that they just wrapped up with Lower West Akim and they're heading up north of the country. Right, so let's listen to Sami Ewuku, who also has been speaking on this campaign trail with Dr. Bawumia.
Papai Menena Sampi is a man of his word. Dr. Bawumia doesn't fake. Obu ho kope poster na afa ohu nipa na oresrew. Nto osrew cry maye cause enye natural. But this man, what you see is what you get. Openipa, edonipa, ekanipa, ebum. Ene nyame mwano na sena yeye ma John Ajekum Kufuor. Yeah, the same thing so edema yendeshi nanado danko Kufuor. Umye mwa yera Dr. Bawumia. Na yen demonstrate say the charcoal seller's son can also wear a white shirt. Now Dr. Bawumia were the running mate 2 times. Were the vice president 2 times. Onumpo nkwafoso or a stranger there. Now police station executive undi DC. No aboye edia jitumi 2 times. Was a stranger there. And then I also obami sumano. Yame mwamo. Na onkaye. Na ene ya buy to January 31st. May this covenant keeping God keep his covenant with us. Na ya mwa Dr. Bawumia.
So they had the MP for that is Ekuapem South. Yes, speaking on the campaign trail with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there. I would definitely be keeping tabs on that. I'll bring you more details of that subsequently. We're back in here to talk about the Ghana Meteorological Agency. I've been wanting this interview for quite a while because a lot is said about this particular agency, and I've also been involved in a journalist training that took place earlier this year from the agency. So today we'll be speaking to Madame Felicity Ahafianyo, and she is with the Public Relations Department of the Ghana Meteorological Agency. We've been asking questions. So last week, for instance, there was the news that, there were going to be some thunderstorms, some rains early in the morning. It did not happen, but then we saw another statement from the GMET saying that that was for the morning belt and so not, into the afternoon. And all of these understandings of what their operations are, what their works are, what exactly do they do. But we've been asking you also very important questions about whether you do wait for the updates from the GMET about whether it's going to rain today, there's going to be so much sun, how you prepare yourself before stepping out. Or the word again is, do you trust some of these things, statements that they put out from the Ghana Meteorological Agency? And I know Madam Hafianyo has been hearing some of these things, and today she's going to dispel all of that or tell us what exactly has been happening there. So let's get into the conversation right away. Good afternoon, Ma. Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro TV.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
And a happy new month to you.
Yeah, thanks so much, and wishing you the same.
Yeah.
I pray that the December weather will be good.
Okay.
Especially for the farmers and the market women, because they need a clear sky to sell their goods. The farmers also need rain and the sun to cultivate the ground and then also to dry their harvest.
Fantastic. For many people who just know the Ghana Meteo, the GMET, all they know is, well, in Subeto and it's going to rain today, it's not going to rain today. That's what they think the agency does. But what really is the mandate of the Ghana Meteorological Agency?
Yeah, thanks so much. And good afternoon to our listeners and viewers. And then thanks for the opportunity too. Ghana Meteorological Agency, most people think that our mandate is only to go out, watch the sky, and then come and tell them that it's going to rain or it's going to be sunny. But then we do more than that. We are mandated as a country, as an institution, national institution, to take charge of anything that has to do with the meteorological parameters in the sense of climatology or climate science. So we provide the services. We are mandated to collect the meteorological data, archive it, and then make it available to any researcher that needs to. And then we now use that data to forecast the weather to our citizens, the short range, the medium, and then the long-term projections.
Right. And what kind of persons work at the Meteo Agency? That is important to me so that people understand, or we all want to know which group of people work there, right?
Our field is combined, is all field, is like 360 in the educational sector. But then the technical aspect you have to be a scientist. From the second cycle, you must read chemistry, physics, and mathematics. And then even if you are done at the university level, you are privileged to read mathematics, pure mathematics, or pure physics. And then now, by the grace of God, for the past 10 years now, we have universities that are doing the meteorology in Ghana. One is Tech, where you study the meteorological itself and have the first degree. Now, after that, you need to get to know how to code, how to write scripts in computer terms. So without that, there are certain aspects of it that you may not be able to understand. You also need to know a bit of statistics too, because you need to do a graph plotting, you need to interpret, and then be able to come up with the forecast for your end users. Aside that too, as I'm here, as the public weather person, you need to do a little bit of journalism. So right from day one, you need to get bits of all these things put together to be able to work. We have the support service that also work with us. We have the HR department, we have the engineering department, we have the IT department, we have those that are in charge of collecting the data, and then those that are in charge of running the seasonal forecast. Then we have those that do the now forecast that we term the short range.
So it looks like a very big agency.
Very big one. Very big one.
Why do we not hear much of the GMET?
I think it all boils down to resources in a sense, and then also the resources has to be in two. The infrastructure, and then the personnel that are involved. Just 3 years down the line that we were privileged to get quite a number to add up. So we are less than, I think now we are less than 500 staff.
That's across the country?
Across the country. And we need more than that. Because we have about, currently we are running almost like, for the synoptic station, we are running like 21. It used to be 22, but we have to close one down. So now we have 21, and the 21, you have a staff strength of maybe 10. So you multiply. Before we have the agrometeorological stations scattered across, in the past, if you put all the stations together, there are about 643 stations. So if you are doing maybe 5 personnel for each station, you multiply it, and then you now come down to the headquarters, where we have the divisions. You have the agromet section that runs the forecast for the farmers specifically, so that they know when to plant, when not to plant. They will tell them the dry spells within the rainy season and be able to work with it. And then we have the hydrometeorological unit too, that deals with the runoff water that goes beneath the ground. So you have all these people in the system. We also have the climatological unit that runs the pattern that we have been experiencing since we started collating the data. We have the aviation meteorology or aeronautical.
Aviation meteorology.
Scattered. We have about 5 or 6 stations, and the headquarters is at Kotoka International Airport.
With all of these that you've mentioned, and looks like a very, as I mentioned, big agency that deals a very key and very important, area of the country and the lives of people. Do you not get saddened when it's just reduced to, oh, it's going to rain today, it's not going to rain today?
Personally, yes, and as an institution too, yes. The sad bit of it is that we issue the forecast, and people don't pick it. But then the moment they see the clouds gathering, then they go for an old forecast that we have issued, and they make use of it. Then you see the public following that publication rather than following the current trend.
Then do break it down for us to understand. At what point in a day do you give out the forecast? How many times does the GMET release the forecast? Is it just once in the day? Is it in the morning, in the evening? Just share with us that information.
Okay, so let me pick it from where we collect the data from.
Right.
So scattered across the country, every hour the observers go onto the field to pick the data.
Every hour? Every
hour, as we are speaking. If it's getting to, yes, so now it's 12:53.
Right.
So the observer is on the field at our enclosure, taking the readings, the temperature for this hour, the wind speed and direction, the clouds type and height, and then the amount, and then also taking the dew point temperatures, and then code it, send it to us. So as a forecaster, we pick this data together with the global weather forecasting system, and then we come out with the forecast. So for a day, for the daily one, we come up 3 times.
So 3 times forecast in a day?
In a day.
What
we have the morning one that comes at 5 a.m.
Okay.
The afternoon comes at 11 a.m. Then the evening comes at 5 p.m.
11, and the evening is at 5.
5.
What does this mean? It means that you release the forecast at 5 a.m., forecasting what will happen till 11 a.m.
No, for the whole day. So for the morning, the afternoon, and the evening.
Okay.
Then the afternoon one comes to update the morning forecast.
Okay.
So then now the afternoon forecast spans from the afternoon 12 noon today till tomorrow at 12 noon. So we now break it down into 3 time frames. So if you pick the afternoon today, you see afternoon, you see evening, and then you see morning.
Okay.
So then the evening one, you see evening, tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon. So all the forecast comes to update the previous one.
Okay, so if I'm to understand this well, the morning release at 5 a.m. is for the whole day.
For the whole day.
And then the afternoon, which is released at 11 a.m., is to give maybe an update of what the morning, that is the forecast was. Maybe there's been some changes, right?
Yes.
And so it will forecast into the evening till the next morning, right? And then the evening also gets to update what the afternoon release was into the morning. But you know, the way you explain it, do people understand it like that? Because once it is in the morning, it is thought that it is for the whole, so whether there's an update or not, we only know what was released in the morning.
Yeah, that is a challenge that we are having, and we are trying our best to see how we can correct that in the system. Because the weather we know is never static, it keeps changing. Every minute, the surface pressure may decrease, may increase, the wind speed and direction may change, the humidity in the air mass can also change, the energy, the sun, the convective available potential energy for that air mass to rise, to form a cloud, can also change at any time. So that is why we update. So that in any point in time that we observe that there will be a change, we update it. Then if we have a situation where it is a storm that is coming from our neighboring countries, either from the east or from the west or from the north, we issued a weather warning. Because that also comes with different characteristics altogether. So we issued the warning, but the challenge now is that the media, your station.
I knew that was
this is not my first time of coming to Metro TV.
Mm.
I think way back 2009, 2010, I've been coming when you were at, I think, Cantonment or so.
Yes, Alaboni.
Yes, so we want you to make it part of your daily shows, so that if we release the morning one, you get it across. The afternoon one, you get it across. The evening one too, you get it across. So that we, the citizens, will get to know that, okay, GMET is saying that there will be 30% chance of rain for Kasoa today in the morning. The afternoon forecast comes to confirm that, yes, what we are anticipating will happen. And we've increased the probability to 60%. So it gives room for those around the Kasoa or those that will be migrating or moving towards Kasoa to do or to prepare.
Okay.
And if maybe we realize that it's going to be 80% or 100%, those around there will get to know and be able to use it. But then if the 30% we have given, the afternoon conditions comes up and it's like it will not happen again, we indicate it in the forecast. So if you pick the update too, you see that the public will be aware. Whoever that wants to use it for that particular day, maybe the person wants to travel or the person wants to dry some seeds and is watching the time that, okay, by 2 I need to gather my proceeds. But then the afternoon forecast has come 11. From 12 moving into 2, he knows that, okay, the rain that Matthew is expecting will not come. Will go ahead to do whatever activities he wants to do. So the biggest challenge that is confronting us is the media. How can you help us so that we get the information across board, educate the public? And we also now upgraded, we are using maps. So with the map, we are using something like color coding to shade the area, because the city forecast we are giving, the space is not enough. And if you make it more like 10 pages, it's a lot of work.
It should be very easy for the general public to be able to read from the releases that, okay, this is what is going to happen. And I'll say that here on this channel, we do that in the mornings, right? And I would agree. The other time we had a conversation at was it when you had the program for journalists, right?
Yeah, Angie Hill.
Yes, we had a conversation about the understanding. I mean, if my friend Jesse sitting here can see the release or the forecast and doesn't understand, how does he teach his mother or, you know, his father, his brother, you know? So it's a very important thing. And what have you been doing about that, though? But I want to ask about last week Thursday. What happened? What happened on last week Thursday? Because we woke up to the news, there are going to be thunderstorms and all of that. We ran it, and then we saw another message that, oh, it's not true. What happened?
I think I also woke up in the morning preparing for the broadcast that I normally do for some sister stations. So someone forwarded it to me, so I look at it, I was like, oh no. When I check the satellite images, there wasn't any storm approaching. And that morning forecast that was released, it didn't even state what it says is that there will be isolated thunderstorms, and the chances were 40%, and some areas was like 30%. So we've mentioned Accra, we've mentioned Kaswa, we've mentioned Ketekrachi, and then in the evening it's upgraded to 40% chances. So when I saw that, then I was like, oh. So I tried to see who is behind that, but unfortunately I couldn't get the person yet, but I'm still working on getting the person. So when it happens like that, we get confused in a way.
You get confused?
Yes, because we have prepared the forecast and we have sent the forecast. Then you pick the forecast and twist it in a different way that even we ourselves were like, where is it coming from? So it's becoming a concern that we need to address this, because in a situation where a storm will really, really be coming, we don't get that attention. So we want all the media houses to see and then understand our forecast and be able to. So if you don't understand it, give us a call. We will come on live and then explain to your listeners or your viewers or your audience, so that we don't mislead them. And you know, the Ghanaians, too, the way they lash us is
and I was coming to that. Is it always that, GMET, you get it right?
No, we don't normally get it always right. But then I can attest that for the past 5 years, we have improved significantly.
The past 5 years?
Yes. So you can conduct a survey on your destiny. Let those that follows us, those that picks our forecast, let them. And I can ask you to do it. Let it be a challenge for between now and February or March. Follow our forecast and mark us.
So it's always right or almost right?
For my part, when we do the validation, we are scoring 93%.
93%?
Yes.
That means you're doing very well.
We are trying our best. We are trying our best.
Okay. So we did a Vox Pop. I'm sure we're going to play that later.
Okay.
Later on the program. But if you just tuned in, we're talking to Felicity Fianyo, and she is with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. She's a big woman there. And today we are talking. She's a principal meteorological officer at the Ghana Meteorological.
I have been upgraded. I'm chief forecaster.
Chief forecaster, yes.
Chief meteorological officer.
Yes, she's a chief forecaster, and also with the PR department. And she's joined us to talk about some of these things. Well, share with us on our social media handles what you make of the GMET. Do you really follow their releases, their forecast? Do you trust them? A lot of people have somehow lost some trust. Oh, when it's not going to rain. They say it will rain. It's not going to rain. You know, all of that. But you've touched on some of the challenges like these. And for the general public, we're expecting that this is the Ghana Meteo. If they tell us this, it should be this. But then if it goes otherwise, then there's a problem. Do you believe that there's some sort of, because you do trend, especially on X, when there's a message that says it's going to rain and it doesn't rain. Do you feel some disaffection sometimes from the Ghanaian people towards your institution?
Yes, we do. Let me just cite today as an example.
Okay.
Currently, I'm residing around Dodowa. Okay. I have a challenge with my car, but I need to be in the office as early as 6 a.m. And I have to use public transport. I have to prepare the forecast for some of your sister stations. So you go through these things, you get to the office, you go and download thousands of charts, analyze them, interpret them, now bring it into the understanding of your fellow Ghanaian to understand you, that this is what the charts are saying that will be at your area. Then at the end of the day, it's like they are mutual intro. And you don't get people to appreciate the work that we are doing. So it feels like, no. And I've been in it, so yesterday was my 26 years in the agency.
26 years at the GMET?
Yes. I started 99 as an observer.
Wow.
And I started the TV 2006. Even a point, our current president visited us when they bought us a radar. Okay, so I know you. You always talk to me in my room. You get that feeling.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, you put all these things and then you don't get anyone to appreciate that and then understand you that, okay, the forecast is a probability. So if we put 30%.
So that is one of the areas that, so it's a probability that there could be a 30% probability that the rains will come down or not.
Yes.
I remember at the training, you also mentioned that one of the challenges you had with, especially the media, is the probability is not part of it. It's not being mentioned that there's a probability of 30%. So far as you see rain or you see thunderstorm or whatever, the probability added to it, it's not being talked about. But how do we get this to the ordinary woman on the street too? Because I know you do now a lot of publications on your social media, on X, you're constantly posting on Facebook, you're constantly posting, but not everybody may be there. So how are you engaging, you know, the ordinary person on the streets who are looking to you for this information?
It's still a challenge. We are trying our best to see how we can be doing the audio and be sharing, because now I think most people are on WhatsApp, to see how we can be getting it and then sending it across. We are running a pilot base in the Volta region and some parts in the central region where we get an observer. We get one of us that speaks the Ewe and one speaks the Chi, come up with the audio for the day's forecast, and then we spread it across board. Now, getting it to the ordinary person has to do with the media. The radio, yes, the radio and the television. But most importantly, I think it should be the radio, because when you are in the car, you are in trotro, the radio is on. So if at that time the presenter or the editor or whoever that is presenting the news mentioned that, oh, GMET said today in Accra, we have 40% chance that the rain will happen in the afternoon. So get yourself ready, hook up to them on their X or on their this for a follow-up. Or you still come back maybe after we've released our evening forecast, and the next show also talks about it. Okay, the 40% chance has improved to or has increased to 60%. So get yourself ready for the rain. So I think it will also help us. So the media play a role. And it's not only Ghana. It cuts across. If you go to Europe, because of the nature of their climate or their weather patterns, the media pay much attention. They give daily updates when they are in the season every 15 minutes. Ghana, can we do every 1 hour? No.
Okay, so I mentioned that we went on the street to speak to some persons about the operations of the GMET, whether they do trust the GMET in terms of the forecast that they release. And Madam Alafia, you're ready to listen. So let's take that voxel back, surely.
The climate change, no, it's somehow different. It changes. You can determine that the rain is going to fall, but maybe it won't. So I think it's a natural thing. If it's rain, it will rain. Nobody can predict it. Yeah, it's a natural thing.
Roughly, I don't trust them. Maybe on a scale of from 1 to 10, I'll just give them like 6/10. Mostly, I don't observe the weather forecast, but the only notification, sometimes you just receive notification on your phone that there's going to be a thunderstorm, and at the end of the day, nothing happens. And then what they give and what we also have on our phone, or the alert that we receive on our phone, is different from what we see. So I think the weather is a natural something that happens. If it rains, fine. If it doesn't rain, it's too fine.
Okay, so you heard from some of the persons that we spoke to about the operations of the GMET and if they understand or trust the forecast. You were smiling all through. Right.
And when we checked the forecast a month ago, we realized that there will be rain. So we have to plan the program in such a way that the rain will not disrupt. It was a marriage program.
Okay.
So we did the engagement in the morning and then shift the wedding to a different venue. After the rain, we came back for the refreshment. And people that were involved didn't even know that it even rained. It was later when they checked the grounds and other things before they get to know. And my dad also passed on 10 years ago. And then in June, and you know June is a rainy month.
Rainy month, yeah.
But then when my elders picked the date, I went in, check, and I realized that day is going to be okay.
Oh, so you have the privilege of getting to know all of these.
Yes. Yeah. So that day, it didn't rain. After the show, after everything, then the rain came briefly, and then Sunday. Then after the Sunday service we dispersed, then the rain resumed itself. And since then, people keep asking for the forecast, and I keep doing it. This morning, somebody asked for a forecast for Saturday over cantonment. We did the forecast for the person, and this morning he returned to say, oh, thank you. The forecast really helped them. So now we have the farmers too. Now we give them when the rains will start, when it will end, and they are also using it. So the challenge now is the general public, as he's saying, he doesn't follow us. So he will not get the forecast. Today we said it's going to be sunny over most places. As we are here, the north, some areas are in the Harmattan. The dry winds are with them. Yes, visibilities is about 9 km over those places. But then, since it has not gotten to Accra, the whole country is still experiencing rain and thunder. So this is some of the things that, as a media house, as your house, if you can help us, you are doing the good work, but I've not watched it yet. So tomorrow, I promise I'll watch.
We'll see. We've got a few minutes to go. We're already in December. As you mentioned, you've got to give some information to the farmers, and of course, we're getting into the Harmattan season and all that. What do you have for us as Ghanaians from the GMET?
Thank you. For us, the December outlook, we expect the dry and slightly hazy for the north. Between now, it's there already. But then we expected it to extend to the transition. Those over OT region, those over Bono East, and then Ahafo areas towards the second week in December. So they will start having a feel of it. The winds will get dry. And then for us in the southern sector, those in Volta region, Greater Accra, Eastern, and its enclaves will be having partly cloudy sky from now. We'll be having some showers in the afternoons. And once a while, we will have some thunderstorms with rain. But then it will come in the afternoon. We are expecting 1 or 2 storms that is likely to move from our neighboring countries from the east towards us. But then every Monday, we do chat discussion where we give the whole week and the days that the forecast, the rains will come. So join us at 5 p.m. on our X, on our Facebook, to get the details for this week. And then next week, Monday too, by 5 p.m., you get the details and you plan your activities.
Right, so your socials again is, let me check on Instagram now, I mean on X. Ghana, so that's Ghana Met.
Yeah,
Ghana Met. It's a verified account also, so you know that, and also on Facebook. So please go and follow the Ghana Meteorological Agency on all their social media handles. That is where they do put in, and for that I would have to applaud. Every morning it is on there in the afternoon and all of that. Very, very important.
I wanted to say something.
All right, please do add.
The lady that said it's a natural occurrence. Right. Yes, it's natural. But then in the Bible, God gave Noah that rain is coming, a storm is coming, and it's going to be heavy, so he should prepare himself. So God has given us that ability, that knowledge, that wisdom to put all these things together and forecast. It's scientific. Do you get it? So that you plan your life, you plan your activities. So they should have that faith in us and then be able to take the forecast and then work with it. And they themselves, they will come back to attest that, yes, it's really, really helping them.
Okay, so there you heard from Madam Felicity Fiano, Chief Forecasting Officer, and also with the PR team at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, sharing with us their thoughts. So far as like the natural thing, just to wrap that up, the natural thing, like you have mentioned that today we're going to have slightly hazy
conditions. So let me just read the forecast that we released this afternoon.
This afternoon will be like,
yes,
okay,
so
quick one.
For this afternoon, we expect sunny weather for Aplau, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, those in Ho, those in Achimdan, Kumasi, Obuasi, those in Ketekrachi, and then Teche Mines, Yendi, Tamale, Bole, Navrongo. Slightly hazy conditions for Bolgatanga, Narelugu, and Wa. And the areas that we are expecting some rain is Takrady, that has 30% chance. Axim also 30%. Kufuridua 40%. Those in Takwa, Seshibekwai, Kintampo, Goso, Sunyani 30% for this afternoon. Then by evening, those in Goso, Obuasi, Takwa, the probability has increased to 40% chance. The rest will just remain partly cloudy and then slightly hazy over the places. Then tomorrow morning is also key. Around this time, we have widespread mist and foggy conditions which affect visibilities, especially when it's foggy. The driver may not be able to see beyond 10 meters or 5 meters. So we are advising that they should try as much as possible to take precautions. So when we are driving towards Ebri, we are driving towards Kufuridua, Mampon, those areas, Nkoko, those around the Agona Swedro, Mankasim, Asamankase, Achimdan, Abetifi, Sunyani Goso, those areas around this time, visibilities will be very, very poor. Low. So they need to take precautions.
Right. Thank you very much for the updates there. So please go follow the GMET on all their socials to get all the updates about the weather forecast. Now, we're going to be getting into our next conversation about the Zipline contract. You know that came to being in 2019, and over the years, we've been doing some work in terms of sending blood and to these health facilities across the country. There's a call for it to be cancelled. The majority leader, Mama Yarga, was speaking on the floor of Parliament, same as the minority leader, Alexander Abenyo-Markin. Let's listen to both of them as they spoke on the floor of Parliament last week. And when we come back, we delve into the conversation proper.
This week, announced of shutdown of 3 of his centers. Mr. Speaker, we know the critical role Zipline has been playing, especially in delivering medication to rural health care. Mr. Speaker, they have announced that they've shut down because of over 170 million outstanding claims. Mr. Speaker, it is important that the Minister of Health is able to address this House regarding steps being taken to deal with it, because it's not those of us in the cities that will suffer from this shutdown. It's those in the rural areas who otherwise will need emergency medical care. And if there is blood, the need for them to get blood transfusion as quickly as possible is one of the reasons for bringing in Zipline. Mr. Speaker, my last point. The Honorable Acting Defense Minister and Minister of Finance came to brief us on the matter of the Elwak disaster, where 8 young Ghanaians...
Zipline. As for Zipline, even in my debate yesterday, I indicated clearly that I am against the Zipline contract. I am against the Zipline contract. You cannot spend 170 million Ghana cedis that you are sending blood to health facilities using drones. The Ministry of Health should have bought their own drones by now. You can't continue spending that kind of money that you are paying a service provider. It's a total waste of money. The Ministry of Health should have bought their own drones. After all these years, the Zipline contract, I recall, was signed somewhere in 2021. Can you imagine every year if we are spending 170 million Ghana cedis? 170 million Ghana cedis, so that they will go and drop blood in some village and then come back. Meanwhile, there's road network leading to almost every town, every community in this country. There are only few locations that you will say the roads are not accessible. That money could have tied the roads to all those locations that we are concerned about. And Ghana Health Service could have bought their own drones and done their own deliveries anytime they need to do a delivery. How much is a drone? How much is it? Some drones are as cheap as $4,000, $5,000. The most expensive drones don't even go beyond $10,000, $20,000. By now, we would have had drones for every district in this country, managed by Ghana Health Service. Let's go and do a total calculation of how much money we have wasted on this zipline contract. I call for a cancellation of the contract. The contract should be cancelled. Ghana Health Service should develop their own in-house capacity to deliver the blood through their own drones. So please, that is my personal view of the matter. Mr. Speaker, stadium accident. Of course, those who
So they heard from the majority leader, Mama Yariga, and also the minority leader in the House, that is Alexander Abinyo-Markin. Speaking of this particular issue, divided opinions on this. But for now, let's speak to Dr. Nana Ayew Afriyie, who is a ranking member of the Health Committee of the House. Last week during the debate, he was very vocal about this, talking about the centers that were set to be closed down and all that. We know he has quite a busy schedule, but let's speak to him now. Good afternoon, Honorable. Thank you very much for your time here.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Great. And a happy new month to you.
Well, happy new month to you too. I mean, we're just on the campaign to get Dr. Bawumia to win for the NPP presidential primary. So, somewhere in Bosomifra, the network would be a bit fluctuating. So, just pardon me and forgive me for that.
Great. We appreciate that you could make time for us. But this conversation, I mean, I just had a conversation with my guest who joined me here from the GMET, and she was telling me how Zipline had saved her sister's life. That was last year, and many others that are happening across the country. But why are we still owing them this much if they have been doing such a great way, or it's been saving a lot of lives? 174 million.
I listened to the interviews. Thereabout, we were also having the estimates for appropriation, the budget. We were working on it. I should think the same day that the leaders made this debate was when the Minister of Health had come to the committee on the estimates of the budget in the health sector. Clearly, by virtue of the presentation by the majority leader, I think he lacks understanding. And I would prefer this to be the headline of the day, that the majority leader lacks a total understanding of what the Zipline project is, what it stands for, what the drones are, and what the cost is. I again says he lacks understanding, and there was no need for him to speak to it. And of course, I think Parliament is a house of records, so he should have done a little bit of homework or be guided by the Minister of Health. The very day in Parliament, in the committee, the minister said, and it is recorded, they can let you have the videos of the day, and even in the Hansard, the minister said that they are happy the Zipline people are engaging them. They might have to review bits of their delivery, not a shutdown. So they are engaging. That was what it is, what it was. So the issue was non-engagement for 11 months and non-payment. Now, for the issue of non-payment, it is not true. The cumulative arrears is what is the 175 million or the 170 million. It's not a case of every year you put 170 million in. It's throwing dust in the eyes of the public. Okay. There again, it says the majority leader is not on top of the issue. Again, I would want the Ministry of Health to clarify that, or the vendors to clarify that. The documents are there for you to speak to it. So saying 174 every year is not right. Again, he said
if it's not like that, can you kindly share with us what really the figures are?
Well, I may have to get because I'm speaking to facts. Even if it's a 1 city difference, I cannot be able to. Each center is about $33,000. So the total center in a year You understand? So if it's about 6 centers, 33 times 6, so that would not be what he's quoting. And that is why I said I would want to convert it to cities with the rate they are using. Maybe they are using the BOG, they are using the, the market rate or whatever it is, and give you what the figure is. But I've just told you, if you speak to the Ministry of Health or if you speak to the vendors, they will tell you that the cost built up per year is not the total. What is there is the cumulative. Now, again, the drones that he's talking about is not any kind of drone. I mean, this is a drone that nobody has any intellectual property right to it other than Zipline. So you cannot say that you are even going for a competitive tendering. It is solely their intellectual property. No other entity in the world has it. So it's either you are using Zipline or you are not using Zipline. So going to say there are drones that will cost 4,000, there again, you see, they are members of the committee who are NDC. You might speak to them. They have gone to Zipline centers. We have seen them. Some MPs have been there. So it is unique. The Minister of Communication has also visited there, and he can best speak to technology on this issue. So he cannot compare it to any other drone. There is none like Zipline in the whole world other than by Zipline. And that's why countries are roping in on this rollout by Zipline and their work. Zipline is supposed to be a stopgap measure, especially in countries with poor infrastructure. So you are looking at, even in the Afram Plains, as of now in the lives of this country, you cannot even have a bridge that can connect you from one side in the eastern end to one side to the Volta end. Yeah. There's no bridge. You either have to use either any of the ferries on the Volta Lake and all the challenges they go through. So if you are arguing that you face Zipline out over years because you are building infrastructure, that's a sound argument. But in the case that Donko Krum or some places in the Afram Plains, some places are on islands, and then they will need blood, and you cannot supply it to them, and they will die. And then you can get Zipline to speed up within 10 minutes to deliver the blood. You don't suddenly just take Zipline away. You just do it in phases. That is why several countries, especially in the low-income areas, are roping them in. So we are supposed to see Zipline as a stopgap measure that make hard-to-reach areas access. And these are the places with the high deaths of high maternal death.
But honorable
areas, people live in Accra. Yeah.
My question now is: you're definitely talking about all the positives that Zipline has done in terms of our health space. But why is it that over the years we are still owing them? If we appreciate so much what they're doing for the health sector, saving lives, why do we have to come to this point where we are owing them this much?
Because this year there was no budgetary allocation. As of January, there was about 70 million thereof. So this public sector payments, you pay some, you roll some into the next budget. It's not as if we pay everybody all the time. So for us, it's a rolling business. So government was supposed to show goodwill and good faith by fixing the budget allocation for them in the budget 2025 or 2026, but we are not seeing anything like that. So basically, they are supposed to show commitment. If you want to review, meet and review, but non-payment, non-engagement is not the best. And the majority leader saying that, in his opinion, I'll pardon him for it. Because if you see, he said in his opinion, that was subjective. And that was not even what the minister said.
Well, he said he's held that view for a long time.
Engage them to review. Yes, so you see, his view is not really firm, because first of all, he doesn't know what a drone is. Neither does he even know what the cost built up is. So he should have been guided. You understand? That's why I say I'll pardon him, because really the minister also spoke on that day in the committee, and he gave a very clever response. So that's why I would want to treat his opinion as a very subjective opinion. Yeah.
Some have said that, all this debt was incurred during the tenure of the former government. and you're now trying to put pressure on this particular government who are just a few months in government?
No, they've been running for several years. You're going to have cost build up. Last year in the budget, the allocation for them was about 70 million or 90 million. This year in the budget, there is no allocation for them. So definitely the cost will build up. In any case, if government owes you 120 million, government says I can pay 80 million. In a project that is ongoing, I don't think government is a bad one. So if this year, for instance, 2025, government has said, okay, we would also give 90 million. Already, it wouldn't have been 170. It probably would have been 80 million. Then next year, they will say, oh, we'll pay 50 million. It's a running thing. You cannot expect government to pay one off when we have other competing needs. Although it's a social sector, although it's blood, I mean, we also think that government will have to negotiate. The business of it is to negotiate for government to be able to meet up with it. So what we are saying is that the feedback from the Minister of Health was encouraging. And that is a parallel to what the majority leader is saying. So I want to spare the majority leader.
Right. Thank you very much for your time here. Good afternoon, Ghana, and wish you the very best on your campaign trail with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So they had Honorable Dr. Nana Ayew-Afriyie, the MP for Ifiduase Asokore, and also ranking member on the Health Committee in Parliament. He definitely is not happy with the submission by the majority leader, Mahama Yarga, on this zipline contract. We'll definitely keep tabs on that. We're taking a break. When we come back, have you heard the provisional results?
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Me and you go be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it away, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no check me well.
Yeah, man. Easy car. Or dial star 71.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompt, yes. And then boom, confirmation test. Fun.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 #. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number.
Before December, may release a motivational album.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is a competition. Everything.
Join our family for AFCON Morocco 2025 from 21 December to 18 January. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takrade. Cartoons Agri, your number one poultry plug. Fresh beds, sweet eggs, delivered with love. Get ready for our juicy Midofopa package. You get 1 broiler, 1 layer, 2 crates of eggs, plus our special chicken spices. All for only 450 Ghana cedis. Midofopa, sweet value for you. 2 layers, 2 crates of eggs, and chicken spices, just for 800 Ghana cedis. Akoko Bolobo. more chicken, more joy. And for families and corporate bodies ready to feast, try our Odon Soda package. Order now, enjoy more. And the best part is, corporate orders come with free delivery. Terms and conditions apply. Call us now, 0558 376127 or 0241 674268 or 0 Agri Limited. Freshness you can trust.
If God is for us, who can be against us? Come join us, count our blessing 25. Brought to you in collaboration with PRWC Trasaco, E-Church of the Church of Pentecost and the Central Mosque. It's a moment of reflection and gratitude to God. Emeritus Jemsa, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, and the host, Elder Dr. Joseph Senwe Japan. This is coming up on the 8th to 12th December 2025 across all designated centers nationwide, starting at 6 a.m. each morning. You can participate via our online platforms at Zoom Lion Limited and Jospon Group on Facebook and YouTube. Media partners, Metro TV, Pent Media Center, Original TV and Original FM. Don't be left out.
The WASSCE results, the provisional results released by the West African Examination Council on the 29th of November, and that has drawn a lot of attention on the education system in the country. Some say it confirms what has been a long-term thought of what Ghana's education system has become, where there's a worrying surge in the outright failure rate. So that's grade F9 in core mathematics, right? And there's also one that for me is very intriguing, and that is social studies. I mean, if you ask a lot of us, social studies, everybody could pass that. But what exactly is happening in our schools? I visited John Cappy, who is the head of public affairs for WAEC, and he had some answers for us on the reasons why we have what we have with respect to the provisional results from WAEC. Let's take a listen.
The post-examination activities went very well. We recorded some absenteeism on the part of the examiners, but despite that, we still were able to keep to our timelines. The finishing bit of the results is what sometimes is a bit is hectic. You have to be very careful. You have to be meticulous. You have to ensure that whatever it is that you're putting out is representative of the performance of the candidates. But we're in touch with them. Our branch controller there was in touch with the commander of the troops on the ground, was in touch with the municipal, chief executive. And so on a daily basis, we receive reports, and we're told that all the candidates who registered to write in that area were able to write without any disturbances. I mean, the atmosphere was created. It wasn't as if you had soldiers walking around the examination hall, but then they ensured that they cordoned off the area where the candidates were, and so we had a successful examination process over there. Normally when we release the results, we would depend on the chief examiner's report to be able to tell specifically why candidates perform very well or perform poorly or they perform averagely. The report I received from the chief examiner for mathematics, which I have in front of me here, indicates a number of areas where a lot of them were caught up. They indicated also about them being able to interpret data, represent same in diagrams. They talked about their inability to solve application problems in simple interest and translating word problems into mathematical expressions. When you mention a figure like 300,000, some people cannot write it 300,000. When you write it in words, 300,000, you ask them to write it in figures, that becomes quite difficult. So these are some of the little things that the chief examiner observed as the weaknesses of the candidates, and they expect that, teachers will do a lot more to get them back on track and to be able to answer the question. A lot of the questions call for application of knowledge. Again, as compared to what we did, I mentioned with the mathematics. For example, when you are asked to talk about the effect of funerals on development in your community and that kind of thing. These are things that call for you to sit down and look at your community, look at the developmental needs of the community, look at funerals and see how they can affect your community adversely. This is not something you can find straightforward in a textbook and learn by rote. You have to be able to apply what you see to your everyday life situation. With that particular question, and then the few others that he read out to me this morning, I have a feeling that it is the application bit of the questions that didn't go well with the candidates. They probably were not able to address that aspect of the questions. But I'm sure when we get a report, we'll be able to go into more details as to why the performance was that low. First of all, let me just say that the statistics as you see them right now are based on the results that we have released. Out a few others who are not culpable, and for which reason these figures may appreciate. A few of them, of course, may be found culpable, and so we'll have to cancel, which would further, it wouldn't bring up the failure rate. So as we see it right now, the failure rate is probably fixed, except, of course, that with the withheld result, there are some also who may have scored Fs, but usually that is not the case. So I think that when we are able to release the results, a larger portion of the results will probably have an appreciation of the figures that we are seeing so far. We engaged media houses. We had also a stakeholder engagement. We engaged with some traditional authorities and sought the assistance of the society to curb this malpractice canker, because it has far-reaching consequences for our society. So I think that we had, first of all, on our part, we deployed a lot more people for inspection of the, to monitor the examinations at the various examination centers. We also had, were in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service. In fact, the Director General himself went out to a few centers and saw for himself whatever was happening over there. He sent us some reports. Then we had some individuals in society who are not happy with the trend of examination malpractices. So they also sent us messages. They called in and asked that we paid attention to some centers across the country. So these are some of the things that we employed, and then of course with the assistance of the larger society. So it enabled us to pick up a lot of people who were engaged in this practice that is not going to augur well for any examination process. So we've had, I think, 2 teachers who have been incarcerated as we speak. One was a 108-month sentence, the other was 103-month sentence. A number of them also still have their cases pending in the courts. Some have been fined, some penalty units. The courts have their own way of doing these things. I don't know much about that. But then there were some penalty.
Okay, so there you heard John Cappy speaking to Metro TV after the release of the provisional results of the 2025 WASSCE that was on Saturday, November 29, and a lot of the conversations about the decline in our education system has come up with a lot of persons, from stakeholders to persons in academia to the ordinary Ghanaians sharing their thoughts. So we went onto the street to hear from the Ghanaian on the street what they make of the results, the decline in our education system, and what this has become from our WASSCE results. Let's take a listen.
Oh, to me, they don't get books to learn. They don't get books, they don't get syllabus. So how are you learning? I'm asking you, during my time, we get books, and there's a syllabus, and the books are not there. So how are they learning? Ole Benigbe school now. I finished school 66 when the coup was on. I think if these children, the teachers and the reverend ministers don't educate them, we have no future. Ghana has no future. How I'm seeing the things. So everybody should rise and educate the children. If look at them how they are dressing, improper dressing. They don't tackle their things in. They were moving up and down.
I think as a former teacher in SHS and like looking at what I've observed during my term teaching, like the introduction of these smartphones in the school, which they have easy access to it, has also affected their academic performance. And also looking at the recent WASIs that they write, most of the questions leaked, and the answers that they use to answer the questions are mostly from AI. And AI answers are different from what they have in the pamphlet.
Na student now more feeling it dear. Me no madwin kakra mbekire ne say the same teachers. No machire nkwala ya de sa no ma passe. Miri na ntino ba ne say na this year nkwala ni nyina felisa. Di to me ne de the chire madwin ne say e bia promise your president I promise say omo university a e be free no di to me no me sure say eno so be ka ho bi say na be ya nkwala ne bebre entumi mpaase e be fa ketua bi na be ya sika obetua ma free free event say
All right, so they had some Guineans sharing their thoughts about the we could term mass failure or decline in the education in the country, looking at the 2025 WASI results released by WAEC. And a very interesting thing, as John Kapi mentioned, that one of the key things that happened was comprehension from the chief examiners. Those were the things that they mentioned to the especially with the maths, the comprehension, comprehending what this is. It says that he told me that some students who even had A found it difficult to differentiate between a triangle and a square and a rectangle, all of these things. And so those are some of the things that we need to look at. Let's speak to Irene Sam, who is PRO for the National Parent that is Council. Irene has joined us now to talk about what has become the conversation, and she's the PRO for the PTA, and she's joined us now. Irene Sam, good afternoon. Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana.
Good afternoon, sir.
Great. Thank you for your time here on the show. How have you felt being someone who speaks on behalf of PTA on the results that were released by WAEC?
Well, good afternoon to your cherished viewers and listeners. And let me say thank you for the opportunity, for granting us this opportunity to speak to your, media.
Right.
And then also, I also bring greetings from our national president to all our PTA members. The conversation has just begun, and having listened to or having received calls from some of the parents, some of our students themselves, really tells the truth that it is rather not, a fortunate thing at all. It is a disturbing and alarming issue that has come to bedevil us. And this year's WASI, let me say that it's a total flop, and we are not happy about it. It's a disturbing event, knowing that your child or your ward cannot pursue tertiary education because one or two core subjects, the child has failed in that particular subject. But you see, we as a council, we are looking at it holistically, that it is time for us to ask certain questions. Let us look at the stakeholders in education. For instance, particularly the teachers in the various schools. How are the teaching and learning going on? Are we really sure that they follow a particular curriculum? And then how is the content level like? How is the assimilation level like? The comprehension level, how is it like? When they teach, do our children really understand what they have taught them? And even the teaching, has it always also be delivered properly and appropriately? Do they have the right resources, the right materials to teach and also to learn? And then also, let's look at we parents, the role that we also have to play. Have we really played our role well? Looking at WAEC, have they also played their role well? Then the government in place, have they also played their role well? So all these parties will have to sit down and then let's look at what really happened, what really went wrong. But we know for a fact that the issue about the policy, there are so many implementation challenges that we have not addressed over the years. And some of this that we are seeing could be a ripple effect of it thereof.
So you'd agree that it's a holistic, you'd agree that it's a holistic issue, or the approach to it should be holistic, but there's a greater deal that you're mentioning has to do with the implementation of, some of the education policies.
Exactly.
Right.
So we need to look at it very well, particularly what is really going on in the classroom, the teaching and the learning, the materials, the learning resources. How is it like? We know the class size is huge. The numbers are so many. How are we sure that teaching and learning goes on? The marking, class tests, class exercises, homeworks, when they are given, are they really marked and feedback being given to us? What?
Hello, Irene Sam. Okay, I think we've lost Irene Sam there. She's PR for the National Council of PTA. Share with us the thoughts of the PTA or the council on this particular situation. But just before we wrap up, the Ghana Education Service has released a statement saying setting the record straight facts surrounding the 2025 WASSCE results. And it says that the management of GES has taken note of public discussions following the release of the 2025 WASSCE results. And management takes note of attempts by Dr. Yao Seduchum, immediate past minister for education, to attribute the performance of students in the 2025 WASSCE to unsupportive management practices of GES. And it said that it is not true that the GES has cancelled any allowances due teachers as claimed by Dr. Educhum in his argument with some media houses. Indeed, the Controller and Accountant General's Department has publicly clarified reasons for the non-payment of the November allowances for teachers. The GES urges the public to disregard the statements made by the former minister, Dr. Educhum, regarding the 2025 WASSCE results, and says that the management of GES views the 2025 WASSCE results as a true reflection of academic performance of the candidates. The outcome is a credible representation of students' ability. So that's from the Ghana Education Service. So the conversation continues. You can definitely write to us on our social media handles, Metro TV Ghana. We're back at 7 p.m. with News Sniper. Many thanks for joining us here on the show. I am Desmond Okreku-Danso, and continue to watch the rest of our programs here on Metro TV. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.